Your turkey is always the focus of the Thanksgiving meal, and as such, it must come out perfect in taste and in looks. This recipe is going to assure you just that. I hope you give it a try. I know you and your guests are just going to be amazed with how good this will turn out to be. I'll start making my brine with 1 gallon of water, 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. I'm going to pour it here into my pot. To this, I'm going to add a cup of coarse kosher salt. I'm going to add some garlic. I'm also going to add some ginger, some chili flakes. I'm also going to add my peppercorns. I'm going to add 4 bay leaves in here. And now I'm just going to stir this. You just want to stir until everything is all mixed up. More like until your salt is dissolved. I'm going to take this to the stove top to cook. Just bring it to a boil. Bringing my water to a boil is going to allow all these aromatics to infuse into it. Just look at the color right now. Beautiful. It is about to start boiling, and as soon as it starts boiling, I'm going to turn off the flame. Allow this to cool down before we continue the next process. I gave this 30 minutes to sit and rest. It has cooled off a little bit, not all the way through. I'm going to transfer it into a bigger pot. This is the pot I'm going to actually brine my turkey in. To that, I'm going to add some ice. Actually, I'm trying to add equal amounts of ice. I don't have enough ice in my fridge, so I'm going to add more cold water here. So straight from my fridge, I'm going to add some cold water. So all we are trying to do is come up with 2 gallons of cold water, ice cold water preferably. You don't want anything that is warmer than room temperature because you're going to end up probably cooking your turkey. So here's my turkey. I have washed it, removed the giblets and everything. I'm going to let it immerse or submerge here right now, just like this. And to that, I'm going to add 1 lemon that I've sliced. More infusion even when it sits in the fridge is what I'm trying to do. I have some rosemary. I'm also going to add some thyme and sage. Perfect poultry seasoning. This is all going to just infuse in the water. I'm going to cover this and put in the refrigerator for 24 hours. It is very advisable that you do this process in the fridge and not on your countertop because that could lead to food poisoning. So this video is actually a compilation, and since I made this video, I have moved on to use plastic buckets instead of my cookware and aluminum pot to brine my turkey. Aluminum pots can be corrosive, so you don't want to use that. Plastic buckets are more ideal. It fits better in the fridge, and so it's just less stress and hassle. So hopefully you find yourself a bucket that is appropriate for your turkey's size. Our turkey has been brining for about 24 hours at this point, and now I'm going to prepare the marinade. So let's do it. So I have here some sage, some rosemary, thyme, 2 lemons, some ginger, and some garlic. I'll also be adding some onion powder and some black pepper. I'm going to start off by chopping my ginger, which will make it easier for the food processor to get through it. I don't want too many strings of ginger in the marinade. So I'm going to put my ginger here in the food processor. Add my garlic. This is 1 whole bulb of garlic. Just going to pick the leaves of my sage, just the leaves, throw away the stalk. And I'll do the same with my rosemary. This is going to assure you that this turkey that you're going to make comes out just very well seasoned, huge on flavor, and because of course it is brined, turkey is going to come out perfect, very juicy. So I'm going to do the same with my thyme. Try, it's hard, but try as much as possible to leave out the branches. trying to get it this way is not the right way. You don't really get anything. So going downwards, it's like you're going in the opposite direction of how the leaves are going. So that makes it easier. I'm also going to zest my lemon right in here. This is just going to give you so much fragrance. Don't fear that this is going to make your turkey better. It's really not. It's just the zest of two. Just be careful you don't get too much of the white part. If anything, if there's going to be any bitterness, that is where the bitterness will come from anyway. But the zest itself is just full of flavor. Just cut it up. And I'm going to juice it right here. Then add my onion powder, my pepper. I'm going to use my food processor to crush this. I like to use the food processor because I want every part of my herbs to be seen. This is garlic herb butter marinade, and I want it to show on my turkey. I'm going to melt about 2 tablespoons of butter. This is actually salted. You can use salted or unsalted and adjust your salt accordingly. We have to remember that the turkey we are going to be marinating has been brined, so it is perfectly salted anyway. You just want that little bit of salt on your ingredients that go in the marinade. So I'm done blending everything. I'm going to transfer it here into my butter that I've just melted. Mix everything up and we'll be ready to apply on our turkey. I'm also going to add some salt, just a little under 1 teaspoon of salt. Like I said, your turkey has already been brined. You don't need too much salt in this marinade. Now tell me this is not screaming flavor. This is just going to be so good on your turkey. You will be amazed, and so will everybody. You know how they go like, you said you put what? Huh? What did you put again? Yeah, you're going to be answering a lot of that on Thanksgiving Day, trust me. So I've set all that buttery goodness aside and I'm focusing on my vegetables, which are going to go into the cavity of my bird. So I have 1 celery stalk, 2 medium-sized carrots, and I also have an onion. These I'm just going to cut all up, and then I'm going to stuff my turkey right away, even though this marinade is going to sit on my turkey overnight. But I also want to say you can just go ahead and bake your turkey as soon as you apply the marinade. That is if you previously brined your turkey. In my previous video, I showed you how I did that, and I'm going to link it up here for you as well. So I brought my turkey out of the fridge. I'm going to just quickly give it a quick rinse, pat it, and then we are going to start applying the marinade on it. To ensure that the marinade actually gets to every part of the bird, especially the actual meat, I'm going to lift the skin just like I'm trying to do. Please be careful if you are going to do that. You don't want to rip the skin of your turkey. Remember, this breast part actually is the presentation part of your turkey. So you want to be very gentle. Preferably use 1 or 2 fingers and work your way up until you get everything lifted up. And I'm also going to do that on this opposite side, which is the neck part as well. I like to leave most of the skin on the neck part on, and that allows you to just tuck it so that your whole bird is covered on that side. And then of course once you serve it, you can choose to trim it off, but it is perfect this way. It makes your turkey look beautiful. I'm going to start applying my marinade. I like to go under the skin, rub it, work it all the way to the other end of the chest, just like that. I mean the breast. And you just want to make sure that every part of your turkey is very, very well covered with this marinade, which I'm going to be doing now. So into the cavity as well. Yeah, slaughter some there because you want this to be good everywhere. Every piece of that turkey has to come out absolutely delicious.
Delicious, yeah, yeah. Ooh, delicious, da da. Delicious, yeah, yeah. Ooh, delicious, da da da. Delicious, ooh, delicious, da da. Delicious, yeah, yeah. Ooh, delicious. Have you been go? Tasty. Ooh, delicious. Da 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 da.
Now that I'm done applying my marinade, I'm going to insert my vegetables into the cavity. So I have 1 onion in here already. I'm going to also add my carrots and my celery. These are going to bring more flavor to your turkey. The onion and celery will bring some aroma, and that carrot is also going to bring a little bit more flavor in here. Together, everything is just going to work out for the better of your turkey when you do this. Now our turkey is perfect, ready to go in the fridge to marinate overnight. So the next day when you're ready to bake it, it's pretty simple. You just turn on your oven and you bake it. I like to let it rest side down. That way it's going to absorb more of all that juices, because whatever juice is going to render is going to fall on the bottom of your bowl. So if the breast part, which is the thickest part of your turkey, is down, it's going to soak up some more. I'm just getting the rest of everything, the marinade in the bowl, spread it around, and I'm going to just wrap my turkey with cling film and put it in the fridge overnight.
Delicious, yeah, yeah. Ooh, delicious, da da.
Next day, I brought the turkey out of the fridge. I'm going to let this sit for a while just so it comes a little bit close to room temperature before we bake it. In the meantime, I'm going to start preparing my roasting pan. To get our roasting pan ready, I'm going to chop some celery. I'm also going to add some carrots, 1 onion. I'm using a red onion, but you can definitely use whatever you have. And I'm going to add some sage, thyme, and rosemary as well. So I'm going to transfer everything into my roasting pan. To set this on, just like so. I'm going to transfer my turkey into the roasting pan. You want it to have the breast side up, just like this. And the wings, if you can, you're going to tuck it. So it doesn't burn. Okay, the wings are behind it, so it's not going to burn. You want to make sure to tuck this like this, inward. I don't like to cut it. Of course, you can cut it after your meat is cooked, but it makes your meat very well covered. So for this bird, they just tucked it here, which is a very nice way. I've never seen that done before. So they tucked the feet right in here. And crossed it. You can do that, or you can just use a twine to tie it. I like to tie it this way because then it covers a little bit of what is in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do what I'm used to and tie it. I pre-cut my twine because I don't want to make it all dirty, so you have to think ahead. I have some biggest twine here. And using that, I'm going to just tie a knot. pretty much like this and cut. So I have most of the fats and the marinade still here, and I'm just going to lift the marinade and leave the liquids and place that on top of my bird. So pretty much like this, just pile it on there. It's going to cook and melt, and everything is just going to spread around. Remember, it has a lot of butter in here. So the rule of thumb for cooking your turkey to perfection is for every 1 pound, you are going to cook it for 13 minutes. This is actually a 13-pound turkey right here, and so that makes it 13 times 13. And for that, we are going to cook this in here for approximately 3 hours if you do the math. So into the oven we go. I'm going to bake my turkey undisturbed for the first hour and a half. To my pot, I'm going to add a cup and a half of free-range chicken broth, some thyme and sage, and some butter. This I'm going to just let the butter cook in here, dissolve the herbs in there, also just get a chance to boil so it gives off its fragrance and flavors. And I'm going to turn down the heat and let this cool down. And this is what I'm going to use to temper my turkey. That is, I'm going to use that to prevent my turkey from drying out the skin actually of the turkey, because moisture inside the bird is assured by brining it. But you want it to stay beautiful and not overcook on the outside so it ends up burning or not looking so desirable. I want to have a very golden, beautiful turkey on the table. So I've let this cool for a while. My turkey has at this point cooked for the first hour and a half, or baked I should say, and I'm going to start tempering it. So I'm using my syringe. This is just my basting syringe, and I'm applying some of my broth that is infused with the herbs and has all that butter on it. The butter here is going to cling hopefully to the skin of your bird, and it's going to give you that beautiful gloss that you want. From what she was kitchen, so I'm going to be doing this every like half hour. I'm going to open my oven and apply a little bit of moisture. That way it is going to reduce the outside temperature of the turkey and help it to cook gradually to come out looking beautiful. Our turkey has cooked for 2 hours at this point. It is looking gorgeous. It's really getting there. I'm just going to rotate my roasting pan. That way you have an even distribution of heat. You want both sides of your turkey to look as much as possible the same. So rotating the pan helps in that regard. I'm going to continue to ensure that my turkey stays moist on the outside so it cooks beautifully by applying more of my broth, making sure that every part, especially or every part that is upward and being hit by the heat directly, I'm going to try to apply some. So especially the wings, do well to apply a lot of moisture to it. You want it to come out juicy and perfect, because you know those kids always want that turkey wing, okay? It has to be perfect for them. So I'm going to actually tent my turkey at this point as well. So I'm going to allow it to cook for the next hour, covered with foil, because you see it is getting golden. I don't want it to end up being burnt. So I'm going to just put the foil on it, push it back in here, and let it cook for the next hour covered. So it's been another hour. So technically 3 hours into cooking my turkey. It is looking beautiful, glossy. I'm just going to let it cook for an extra 20 minutes uncovered. So it is going to come out perfect. And here it is at this point. Thanksgiving turkey in all its glory. If it could talk, it would be telling you and everybody else looking at it, I know I'm pretty. I'm pretty. Just watch me. Look at me. And I was made with lots and lots of love. I'm going to allow this to rest. I'm going to actually lift the rack from my pan, set it aside, because I need those pan drippings to make my gravy. I'm going to cover this. You want to cover with foil so that it maintain some heat and also moisture. My pan drippings I'm going to use to make some absolutely delicious gravy, and that is coming up next. Now of course you want to garnish your bird because it is the center of attention, and bring it to the table. And just like that, you can give yourself a round of applause because you're going to be named the hostess with the mostest. Everybody's going to enjoy it. So now that everybody has admired the turkey, everybody obviously is ready to get a piece of it. And now that you've received all the accolades for looks, let's see what you get for taste and Here we are. Look at how beautiful your turkey is. Juicy, juicy. You see all those juices running out? Absolutely delicious. Well, thanks so much for watching. It will be such an honor for you to try this recipe. Please do give me a thumbs up and share. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy. Some people look forward to an absolutely delicious turkey, others just look forward to perfect homemade gravy that they will just pour on almost everything. So you've made your delicious turkey, you have gorgeous, very flavorful drippings left. Why don't you make homemade gravy? It is simply the best and very quick to make. This is my pan drippings, and if you want to make gravy, this is perfect for the gravy, and that's what I'm going to use it for. You can also just strain it and save it and use it as your broth or your stock. Your turkey on Thanksgiving Day is just going to be absolutely delicious. Way better with that homemade gravy than store-bought. Store-bought is very convenient, but trust me, making homemade gravy pretty much takes about 5 minutes and you're done. It smells so good. You can only imagine what this is going to bring to your gravy. This you can just put in your stew or just discard. It's totally up to you. So I have 2 cups of broth here, and that is what I'm going to use to make my gravy. I'm just going to thin it out with just a cup of water, just so it's not too concentrated, and also to make sure there's enough gravy for everyone. I'm going to melt 3 tablespoons of butter in a preheated pot. So now that my butter is all dissolved, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. This is all-purpose flour right in here. Quickly stir. And now I'm going to gradually add in my broth. So pretty much this is all it takes with your gravy. You're just going to let this slowly come to thicken up a little bit. When it starts boiling, and you know your gravy is ready. Very simple, but absolutely delicious. And there you have it, gravy that is very light, very little flour in there. So a lot of people are going to approve of this, and of course the flavor is huge. Store-bought gravy is not going to cut it. Using homemade broth is just perfect. Store-bought broth may be good, but it's just not going to have that much flavor. Just transfer it into your gravy boats and bring it to the table. Let everybody just slather it on everything. Happy Thanksgiving, dearest friends and family. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.